All right, so this is going to be a reading for Sagittarius. And for the Sagittarius that I'm reading for today, I'm seeing a lot of really good things for you. I'm seeing that you're manifesting something really, really good. There's a lot of positive energy here. I honestly, when I first pulled the cards for your initial spread, the overall view of the energy, I was really blown away. So I'm really looking forward to getting into this reading. I am going to clarify everything and kind of walk you through the cards as I pull them. So stick around for that. If you are interested in a personal reading with me, I do offer personal readings on my website, ajscaro.com, which is also down below in the description box. This is a general reading. It may not apply. Just take what resonates and leave what doesn't. But if you do want a reading that's tailored specifically to you, I do offer pre-recorded and live readings on my website. And if this reading resonates with you, please take a moment to like and subscribe. So Sagittarius, let's see what we have for you. Your overall energy is the Sun, and the overall energy is usually the last card that I pull when I'm pulling the initial spread. And I was seeing like better and better energies, and then I pull out the Sun, and it just blew me away. I thought to myself, wow, this energy is really packing a punch in a great way. There's a lot of positivity coming to you, a lot of happiness, and it stems from your own energy. So I love to see it. In the recent past, we have the Empress, the King of Pentacles, and the Magician. So that's you stepping fully into your power and manifesting something that not only is very powerful and very positive, but very stable as well. It could have to do with something in your career or something attached to your life's work, your life's purpose. And it's something that makes you feel very much like yourself with the Empress and the Magician here. You could feel like you're in your element. You could feel like you were born to do what you're doing. And that is the energy in the recent past. So that's really the energy that you're starting from. Even if you haven't been feeling good lately, I'm seeing that at some point you planted the seed of this energy in your life and it's ready to blossom. And in the current energy, we have the Fool, the World, and the Emperor. So things are closing off here because you're ready to step into that next phase of your life. And many of you may be closing things off without necessarily knowing what's going to happen next. There's an element of risk involved. There's also just an element of newness, of kind of stepping off that ledge in the Fool card without necessarily knowing what it is that's coming next. But with the Emperor here, I do see you, very much in control. Your masculine and feminine energies are showing up in a very balanced way here, which is good. I don't read gender. We all have masculine and feminine energies, and I'm seeing that yours are particularly balanced, and you're stepping in and out of them in ways that make sense for you. So that's always great to see. And then we also have the Wheel of Fortune, the Star, and the Two of Wands. So this is where you start to shift into this energy of living out your dreams. The Wheel of Fortune and the Star very much have to do with destiny, with fate. And the Two of Wands here is about visualization and sort of standing by as things come together. So this is an energy that has been destined to come into your life. And no matter what you've been doing around it, it's not going to miss you if it's meant for you. It's something that is kind of coming straight towards you. So again, very positive, very spiritual energy. I also pulled some oracle cards for you today, but I'm going to read them whenever it seems like they're relevant in the reading. So just hang on tight for that. Let's take a look at the Sun and the overall energy. For the Sun, you have the Knight of Swords, the Seven of Pentacles, the Seven of Swords. Many of you could have been up in your head lately. There could have been this feeling of anxiety or kind of running around in circles, feeling like really stressed out about what's going to happen next. You could be feeling like you were waiting to see how something was going to pan out. Is something going to work out in my favor? And it could have been stressing you out to the point of not seeing things clearly with that Seven of Swords. even though everything was kind of right in front of your face with that Seven of Pentacles, there's a distortion that kind of happened through the anxiety. And when I was pulling your oracle cards as well, before I pulled them and I was shuffling, I did see stress coming up as one of your oracle cards, and also trust. And so there's that sort of dichotomy of both experiencing stress and then also trusting that everything's going to work out for you, and kind of moving in between those energies. With the sun coming out in your overall energy, I really see the clouds parting and the sun coming out in your life, and you gaining clarity, gaining this sense of truth, seeing things very clearly, and feeling much better because of it. So if you have been feeling anxious or you've been waiting for things to get better, I'm seeing that energy clearing for you in the near future if it hasn't already kind of started happening. Let's take a look at the Empress in the recent past. For the Empress, we have the Two of Cups, the Eight of Cups, the Six of Cups. Or sorry, the Six of Pentacles. But the Six of Cups could be relevant here too. You're showing me the energy of a partnership and leaving something behind because you were seeking balance. And so for some of you, this had to do with aligning with yourself more, or feeling more aligned with the path your life was taking. Maybe you were connecting to someone or to multiple people who didn't feel good, or it felt like they weren't nourishing you. It doesn't have to be romantic, although for many of you I'm seeing that it was. But there could have been other people in your life where when you connected to them, it made you feel unbalanced. And you're showing me you leaving behind this situation so that you could feel better, so that you could take care of yourself. And it comes from a place of self-love and putting yourself first. Let's look at the King of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords, the Devil, the Strength card. There's a certain point where you became very practical, and it was sort of like, I need to do what I need to do, even if it's very, very difficult. And there could have been some type of toxic or unhealthy pattern that was showing up that you really had to put an end to. And you're showing that it did take a lot of strength. It also took a lot of practicality and sort of feeling like, I have to do what makes the most sense for me, even if it doesn't necessarily feel good. And I'm seeing you really severing some type of like three-headed dragon in your life. And of course that's metaphorical, so it's not necessarily literal, but it represents something that was creating a lot of chaos in your life, or creating unhealthy patterns. And this could be something that you're still learning about with the Page of Swords at the bottom of the deck. But it's like when you realize kind of what was going on, you also realize I have to have the strength to overcome this, because my stability with the King of Pentacles here is at stake. And for some of you, Aries could be significant here, and also the energy of Capricorn. Don't take it if it doesn't resonate, but just kind of naming the signs that are coming up for me. All right. Let's keep moving forward, and let's look at the Magician. We have the Page of Pentacles, the Hermit, and the Five of Cups. For the Magician here, I'm seeing that this was a learning experience, and in some way you manifested this experience so you could learn from it. And an important piece of it wasn't just what it taught you kind of logically, but also what it taught you emotionally. And for many of you, there was disappointment involved, but there was a learning arc that you had to go through with this whole experience so that it could teach you something and ultimately bring you closer to yourself. And that, I think, is why there's this sense of destiny here. We have the Wheel of Fortune, which is about the karmic wheel turning. And so there's something very important here about there being destined lessons. And even if you didn't have this particular experience, you did come into this life to learn whatever lesson you learned here, and you would have learned it one way or another. Okay, I'm just grabbing a new deck so we can move into the current energy. as I'm shuffling, I just heard the words "a major chapter is closing," and new things are coming in here because we have the Eight of Wands at the bottom of the deck, the Knight of Wands. So that's fast-moving energy, a fast pace, messages coming in, speeding on to the next thing. And it's sort of like as soon as something ends, as soon as one door closes, another one opens. Let's look at that closing door with the Worlds. I also just heard leveling up and maturity. So that could be relevant for you in some way. We have the Six of Cups, the Tower, and the Three of Swords. You're closing out whatever painful chapter this was in some type of past connection. For many of you, this is going to represent something from your past. It could be the fairly recent past, but I'm seeing this as something that could go as far back as 3 years, maybe longer. Maybe that's how long you've been kind of dealing with the fallout of this situation. And you're wrapping that process up in the current energy. For many of you, it may not be entirely finished. This thing that happened, it does represent a really significant event in your soul's journey. You would definitely know what this was from me talking about it, because this marked sort of a before and after period in your emotional development. And whoever was involved here represents a soul connection with the Six of Cups. And when this kind of came down, I'm seeing that as being deeply, deeply painful, and you had to go through the arc of that whole experience and just really feel the pain and also heal it and then learn from it. And I do see you closing that out. I also see your energy starting to open up again. You may have felt at one point like you were never going to open up again. You may have felt like this is sort of the end for me, but I see you coming out on the other side right now. Again, you might not be fully in this energy, but I do see you starting to step into it. There have been difficult times for you. Some of you may have faced several blockages, including financial blockages with the Three of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles as I am shuffling. That can represent scarcity. It can represent financial issues, maybe not making as much coin as you would like. But there's a part of you that surrenders to life, and you understand that there's a larger sort of picture that the universe is painting for you. And it's that surrendering that allows you to open up to something that's happening on a bit of a higher plane. And that's that manifesting energy for you. Let's take a look at the Fool. Very transformative process for sure. There are times when you're like, when is this shit gonna be over? It's kind of funny the way it comes through. You're showing me like, I really just wish that this would be done. I'm ready for this to be done. I'm ready for new things. And there might be, it's sort of like you're a butterfly at the end stage of being in the cocoon. You're not quite ready to squirm out of there and become a butterfly flying away. You're still in that becoming process. And so it's important that you don't rush that process also. And I think this is a good time to talk about the oracle cards that I pulled for you. We have moment-to-moment participation and intensity. So it's very, very important for you to be present right now, to be present with each moment and to understand that each moment holds significance for you. If it feels like you're kind of on standby or you're on autopilot or you're like waiting for something to happen, know that this very moment is also very important for your growth. And in the arc of your life, you're going through something very important. Even if it doesn't seem like it, there is something always happening for you. You just need to kind of tap into your own awareness of the present moment. You know, if you're sitting in silence, what does that moment of silence have to offer you? If you're engaging with maybe a stranger at the dentist's office, you know, what does that stranger have to offer you? And so it's about being fully open to whatever each moment gives you as it unfolds. And at times that may be very intense for you. It may be intense for you to bring yourself fully into the present moment and to feel all of these things, to experience all these things. And it might surprise you as well, the things that your own life has to reveal to you. Now, as I was saying that, three cards popped out, and my messages always come through in threes. For the Emperor, we have the Five of Cups, the Nine of Cups, the Seven of Wands. It may feel like it's difficult for you to access your heart space, your emotional space, your happiness. And it may have felt that way for some time. Um, and that's where your masculine energy kind of comes out, is like this guardedness to your own feelings. And sometimes that masculine energy, it can be a little bit rigid in its shadow side, and it can be difficult to access the sensitivity, the emotionality. And we all have masculine and feminine within us, right? And we can all, feel various aspects of their healed energies and their unhealed energies, kind of the shadow work. And the shadow work that the masculine energy can present at times is this blockage around the emotions and the emotional world. And there can be this struggle when the masculine energy is blocked to really tap in deeply to how we're feeling. And there could be a part of you that's so tired of everything that you've been going through that you kind of put up these walls around your heart, around your emotional world, so that you don't have to feel things too deeply. And I think that's what those oracle cards are gesturing to, with moment to moment participation and intensity, that to really feel your feelings, that is intense. And that can be overwhelming. And it might feel silly, but for many of you, that's the spiritual work that you're meant to engage in right now, is being fully present for your own emotions and feeling them, so that you can feel the lows and you can process through some of the pain, but then you can also feel the highs, and you can also step into your power as a very happy and centered person as well. Because it's both, right? It's both. There's a bit of a numbness that can occur when we shut ourselves off, or we end up not feeling, that Five of Cups sad energy, or the Nine of Cups happy up energy. And there's highs and lows in life for you to experience. That's part of being human, but you may not be so connected to those feelings. And that is, the task at hand for you. There could be a part of you also that wonders, like, when is happiness going to come in for me? And that is a bit of a deceptive way of viewing happiness, because it's not like sad times end and happy times come out. Like, it's not that simple. It's more waves that you ride, like the tide coming in and out. Sometimes the tide comes in and you're unhappy, and then it goes out and you're happy again. And sometimes you're caught in the wave and you feel both things. And so Spirit's asking you to have a little bit less of a binary perspective, and to just tap into how you're feeling in the here and now, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's in between, because then you'll be able to feel everything as it comes up, and you won't just be waiting for one thing or another. Let's take a look at that waiting energy with the Two of Wands. We have the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Wands, the Devil. Specifically, you could be kind of looking out to energies outside of yourself for validation, for confidence, for love. And there's something about the importance about you finding that within yourself and not getting too attached to how other people feel about you. And that may not be something that you feel all the time, but it could be something that comes up for you in those moments of weakness, in those moments of insecurity. You start to be like, well, what does so-and-so think of me? And Spirit's asking you to align more with yourself and to kind of center yourself a bit more. Let's take a look at the Wheel of Fortune. Two of Pentacles, the High Priestess, the Nine of Wands. Because you're disconnected from your emotional world, you're also disconnected from your intuition, and it becomes harder to know, what do I do next? And Spirit's asking you to kind of break down that wall, because it's important for you to be in communication with yourself and to let your intuition guide you. And it's definitely there, but it's surrounded by a lot of self-doubt. It's surrounded by a lot of exhaustion, And there's a guardedness that kind of crops up because you don't have the energy to connect to your intuition when you're not connected to yourself. And so that is something that I think is going to shift for you. I think you're going to step more into your intuition if you take the steps to do that. And then let's look at the star. The Page of Cups, the Page of Pentacles, the Two of Cups. You're showing me you would like to open your heart again to another connection. At times you could be a little bit extra focused on that. Maybe you're even hoping for a repeat with the past. Many of you are not. But there is that little hope, that little seed of hope for a connection in the future. And sometimes it's difficult for you to not know, what's going to happen next. How does this person feel about me? And you might feel like it's kind of slow going, that you're kind of in this space by yourself right now, but it's because, again, you're going through that very important spiritual leveling up. And it's yours for the taking. Okay, Sagittarius, let's get 3 cards of advice for you. The Five of Wands, the Ace of Swords, the Four of Cups. You're showing me, well, that's not what I wanted to hear. I don't want to hear that I have to feel my feelings, or that I have to be moment to moment, or that, it's not time yet for me to meet that person who's going to be in my future. You said this is going to be a happy reading. This isn't happy. And Spirit's saying, if you're seeing this video or listening to this video, this reading, you asked at some point for some message from your guides. So this is the message, and it's important to take it. And it's also important to understand that everything that you're seeking outside of yourself is within you. And so those messages are going to come through your own feelings. And if you struggle to connect to how you're feeling, you won't receive the messages. So if you are confused, start by going within. So that's what I have for you, Sagittarius. I hope this helps. I hope this resonates, and I'll see you next time.